Considering South Africa's high crime rates against women, just how important are places of safety for survivors of gender-based violence?
Should be top priority, really. Before coming here, like I say, was totally broken. I don't have matric currently. I don't have any qualifications. So because I'm in the sewing room, I'm going to be studying for a qualified machinist. Hubert Barbier has offered to help me with that. It's so important for women to have some sort of a safety plan and be prepared. It's so hard to get out of that situation when you're in it, and it's so hard for people to not judge you, There are other centres out there. I don't feel that it's not enough to just have a place for women so they can feel safe. Here at SABC department, they offer you a hand up, not just a hand out.
I'm very grateful for SABC department for not being able to have a voice. And here I found my voice. Being able to say enough is enough, and being able to say that I'm gonna find my way, and I'm willing to take every opportunity and every strength to go and do what's best and to get my voice out there and telling other ladies that there is a place of safety. There is a place where you can find yourself, heal yourself, not only for you, but for your children.
Norris and Fester are just two of the victims of gender-based violence. The latest police crime stats indicate that between July and September this year, nearly 900 women were murdered. There were over 1,500 attempted murders of women, over 14,000 women experienced assault with the intent to do grievous bodily harm, while more than 10,000 rapes were reported in the country. One would imagine that the funding of places of safety would be a priority in a country where numbers are this high.
But we often hear, and it comes out of presidential summits on GBVF, that GBV has been characterized as a second pandemic by our president, and we often hear that it is a high priority and that we have to fight it and we're going to eventually eradicate the scourge of gender-based violence. However, I'm not seeing that translated to what's happening on the ground.
Even though the SABC Barbier Centre is one of the more well-known and better resourced shelters in the Western Cape, it now finds itself in dire straits following a letter from the Provincial Department of Social Development about funding.
It's an exceedingly concerning time to be in management of particularly a shelter. An economic crisis is having a huge impact on us with all our other funders. And to now hear that we're looking at budget cuts potentially from the Department of Social Development is it's devastating. It really is.
In spite of all of this, staff here try to make the centre as friendly, warm and welcoming as possible. They try to provide clients with everything they need, and with the little they have tried to make the place a bit more cheerful for the festive season. All this costs money. The money these centres rely on comes from donors and government funding. The Commission for Gender Equality as well as the National Shelter Movement have both expressed concern about the conditions at some of these shelters. Places of safety fall under the National Department of Social Development, who says issues like security, conditions and funding of shelters are the responsibility of the provincial departments.
I'm sitting there thinking, where am I going to find that money if that's not going to come from DSD? I've got 3 months. I've got 3 months to find 6 million rand in this economic crisis. So it's almost impossible.
The Western Cape Department of Social Development is appealing to the private sector to assist NPOs where possible. It says the reduced national budget allocated to provinces and the nationally determined wage agreement which provinces have to cover will impact the number of MPOs it's able to fund. Currently, the provincial shortfall for the Western Cape is 1.1 billion rand. This fact trickles down to the women who most need these services.
I can say with joy, I'm blessed being here by SABC Barbier. Just being able to give my kids the love, the attention they need, and the therapy they need. It's only through the grace of God. Being here with them, give them a hug, talk to them, understand them, and being there for them. And it's only through the grace of God. And I can only thank the staff, SABC department for the shelter, for me and my kids.
For these women and their children, these shelters are not only places of safety. Here they also learn skills which help them stand on their own feet once they leave. But with the financial predicament these centres now find themselves in, the NPO sector says it's very concerned about the future of these vulnerable members of society. Abra Barbier, SABC News, Cape Town.